a review. We're going to go through a review of the topic that we've discussed here in 6 hours of your time in the previous 4 meetings. I wanted to present one item on Google's materials, one very quick item that shows all of the different types of open source materials that are available, called POE.com. And then I want to go into Microsoft. And they're kind of schizophrenic in what they've presented so far. But let's just go into top 2. And I'm going to turn on the sound and share, and then begin this presentation. All of these graphics are what I use AIs for in the beginning. I found a definition of mathematical shapes. Geez, can't even think of how would you say calculus? Calculus type shapes or multi-dimensional shapes. So all of these have a name. I wish I would have written them down, but I didn't. But we're just going to go through very quickly. Again, starting with a little humor here is a man and his wife, a husband and his wife together. I saw the flirty texts and photos, Tom, she's saying. And Tom is saying, that was just AI generated versions, I swear. So men have all this. Now, please remember that we use this model here to discuss the different versions of AIs that we have discussed. Natural language processing, NLP, is an AI in itself. But there's also different AIs behind the natural language processing. We're going to go through today. We're going to emphasize Microsoft. We're going to have a little preliminaries on those. When I created this was back in March, but I thought it was very important, and that we're going to discuss quickly tokenization. We presented a graphic that shows that AI, as it's learning, as the machines are learning, it doesn't take the words, it translates the words into a number, and then it transmits the number to the learning sequence. And by the adjacency of words to each other, you can determine the meanings. One of the most important things that I've determined in this light is questions are made in the way you construct the sentence, not by the question mark at the end of it. But here are some of the acronyms that we came up with. Remember, we had ChatGPT plus the number at the end of it indicates what version of that. Now, ChatGPT, which is from OpenAI Corporation, is on version 4.0. And this came out during the summer, 4.0, and it cost OpenAI $100 million to create it. This is Claude. This is another AI that we dealt with. And the number here is the size of the context that it will remember. So if you talk with somebody, you get on a topic, and people remember the context of which you're speaking. AIs in the beginning didn't have a context. Now you can get megabytes of context, or you can have an ongoing conversation with an AI, which we demonstrated with Pi. Remember, Pi was the one that we first talked with. Now, Chat GPT has a speaking version. And then this is one of the open source versions, 13 billion elements. This is how big the vocabulary and how big the memory of the AI is. The bigger this is, the greater the range of topics that the AI can discuss. So Albert Einstein would have a 400 billion byte context. People like me only have a 13 billion. The word Python is the computer language that is used for all of this now. The acronym NLP, Natural Language Processing. LLM was what was used in the beginning, Large Language Model. Now it's translated to multimedia language model. So it is not only text that they deal with, it's also multimedia. And we're going to look at two of those very quickly today from Google. GPT, this was what OpenAI released, generative pre-trained transformer. So it's pretty complex, so I won't waste our time on it. Artificial general intelligence. This is the singularity. When they talk about AIs reaching the singularity, they're basically talking about artificial general intelligence. Humans, AIs now are working on the level, I believe, of human intelligence. This thinks that the AIs can talk on any topic. No human can talk on any topic in well-educated terms. You might be able to be a physician and talk on surgery, but a surgeon is not going to be able to talk too much about dermatology versus the hematologists. We talked about the user interface or the user experience that the developers will give you. This is the type of intelligence, generative artificial intelligence. And this is what AIs are using now to generate all of this stuff, a neural network. And that is a computer network that is based upon the human brain, the neurons, the dendrites, the axons in the human brain. I was showed that model in session 2 of how computer scientists have translated the neuron model to computer orientation. And that's how that's now this is the vocabulary that I hope people are somewhat familiar with. When the grandkids come or your kids come, you can talk, oh, what's the values alignment of that AI? But there's supervised and unsupervised learning. I showed the picture of an X-ray Remember that x-rays go to a radiologist and a radiologist says, there's the tumor. And so that's recorded, and the AIs will learn, looking at a picture, the radiologist says this is the tumor, and then they deliver 1,000,000 of those radiology image combinations to the AI, and it learns how to recognize tumors. Unsupervised learning would be, remember I talked about Google Book Project, where they digitize, I used the University of Michigan library, and now they're submitting that entire library to the AI, the tokenized version of that. Remember values alignment. Last session, we showed the Sorcerer's Apprentice cartoon from the 1960s, it must have been the 1950s, where Mickey Mouse made a broom carry the water. He thought that he wanted the broom to fill up the well and then stop. But what the broom thought was that he was just to deliver water endlessly. There was a misalignment in the values of the AI. The sentiment analysis, what does the language indicate is the sentiment? I just did that this morning, determining what do all of the comments on Nextdoor, if you listen to or read Nextdoor multimedia, what is the sentiment of the people posting on Nextdoor? And it can do it. The AIs did come up with it. I have to check them against each other. A prompt, remember, you generate some text and the AI will give you an answer or an inference back. It's all statistically oriented. The corpus, the volume of materials that are used to train, know your customer. All of the AIs are going to demand of you that you tell it who you are. Backwards propagation is that has the little thumbs up or the thumbs down from the on the response that an AI gives you, that will go back up to AI and give you more. Authentication, that's know your customer. Those two go together. Tokenization, fine tuning. This is the one I'm going to really study in the future. And we did it with the Notebook LM. Remember, I took all of the materials from the Secretary of State of Oregon regarding public official ethics. What are public officials supposed to do to be ethical in the performance of their duties? And I put that into Notebook LM, and then I could ask questions about it. I think that's going to be great. Inference, that this is, I just added this today. This is what the AI gives back. If you went into an AI conference, they would be talking about the AI's inference. What did it infer? What they really mean is, what did the answer did the AI give? Here are the biases. Individual mindset. I find I have a very limited ability to think about topics. I cannot think about the entire spectrum of human knowledge. Cultural mindsets, we're going to hit on this again. I've noticed this in music generating software, which we're going to look at one very quickly today. The music generating software is very Western oriented. I asked these to add an African instrument. It's the kora, K-O-R-A, which is a stringed instrument from Senegal. They don't know it. Or the squeeze box, the South Asian or Indian squeeze box, or what is that called? It doesn't know. What are sex or gender bias? This is huge now. When if you ask an AI to show a person cleaning a house, is it going to have an Hispanic woman cleaning the house? That's a cultural bias. That's a sex and gender bias that race and ethnicity expectation, caste, very big now in India, where they're trying to build AIs that can translate all between the different languages of India, where they could they could turn on the radio and it would be in Hindi, and the person could put their smartphone, an inexpensive smartphone, next to the Hindi radio broadcast, and it would give them Punjabi translation of it in real time. Or the Maharat, how do you say that? I better be careful. The training corpus proportion, small training corpus, is going to deliver bias. Epistemological ignorance, the AI may assume that it is smart, but it isn't. And anthropic limitations, they're finding this now in medicine, that human beings generally, in the way that the human brain works, has limitations into what it can examine. And they're finding that AIs can locate new molecules that have medicinal value that human beings would have never thought of. What are the risks of AI? Legal risks. For the most part, you cannot ask these commercial AIs about medical information. It's going to say, go to your doctor. Reputational risks. I showed the example in 2016, Microsoft released an AI called Tay, T-A-Y, that within a day was spewing racist garbage. And it slowed down AIs by years. Circumstantial risks. Values alignment risks. When I go to Amazon.com and use their AIs, is their value, is it aligned towards selling me more or aligned towards getting me the best product for me and the best price? That's a values alignment risk that I have to be careful of when I'm using an AI on a commercial site like Amazon. And then computational risk. We're in the news now. Energy utilization. Have you seen where Microsoft is thinking about asking, like, what is Pennsylvania Electric, to turn on 3 Mile Island atomic electricity generator again for AI usage? Okay, and then there's the amount of computations that go into training these AIs. is humongous. It's humongous what computation, the okay, these are the language models that we looked at. We'll look at one or two more, especially this Poe. And here in the Gemini version, I want to emphasize this is all under change. It's evolving as we participate in these. This is going to change. We're going to look at the Microsoft one. It was called, geez, Bard, and now it's called CoPilot. We're going to look at a couple of these. If this is from France, this Mistral. Home is what is being used to train medical AIs. The different text to image, well, these that I looked at before, let's see if I go back. No, it won't go back. Yes, it will go back. These are text to text generation. These are text to image. We looked at Dream Studio first day. We looked at Firefly from Adobe. We are going to look at Alphabet's Imagen, and we're going to look at Bing Creative and Microsoft Designer today, hopefully. And then we looked at a couple sound, text to sound generation. We're going to look at I think a third one, but we looked at stable audio. I've played some of the music that I've generated. And then this company, 11 Labs, will generate your voice. You give it, I believe it's 10 samples of your voice. And then it will generate a speaking text to sound version of your voice. So your grandkids could, or somebody who speaks a lot on Instagram, their voice could be captured. The bad people could take their voice and generate through 11 labs your grandkid's voice, and then they could use that to call you and say, I'm in Mexico and I got thrown in jail. Come send money to this is the scam.com and put it in Bitcoin. And this is happening, folks. This is happening. Be very aware of that. Please, if there's anything that you get out of this, this is scams are occurring because of this as we speak. And then as I pass this out, on the left here of this is the task. And then on the right is which, and this is just me, which of the AIs best deals with that task. So self-directed learning, when I'm reading a book and a topic comes up, and I want to figure out what it means, what AI do I go to? I go to Chat GPT. So I'm reading a space sci-fi one that talks about this lunar orbit and Lagrange point 2. I had no clue that a satellite can go in an orbit between the Earth and the moon, not just go around Earth or go around the moon, but it can go back and forth between Earth and with very limited use of resources. So that's how they're going to supply moon base, is what I'm learning. Is they, when the satellite gets to Earth, they'll fly stuff up and put it on that satellite. Then it will go to the moon, and they'll go at the moon, they'll go out to that satellite, get the product, and bring it down to moon base. I learned that from ChatGPT. Art style. How did I learn what impasto was? From Firefly, which is the Adobe one. How did I learn what chiaroscuro was? I went to Microsoft CoPilot, asked it, please create a chiaroscuro painting of a church in southern France. And it shows up. Document summarization. I'm going to end up using this a lot. In the website I put together that has summaries of our meetings. When I have a summary, I'm using Claude or Chat GPT to summarize the text. I should document how I'm doing that. That's the January version that I'm putting together. January, there's a course here. So this is in the handouts, medical question. We're going to look at one of those today. Palm, which is open source from Google, that medical schools are putting fine tuning on, and it's now called MedPalm. And if you are in nursing or a physician, MedPalm might be available to you. Computer code generation. I'm using that to generate computer code for the website, and I hope to explore Python, and I will use Perplexity and Microsoft Copilot to help me generate code. Graphic flyers, you know, we just went through an election, and I guarantee you that people were using Microsoft Designer, and we're going to try to get to that. Foreign language, Mistral. Falcon is Arabic. That's put out by the United Arab Emirates. The Emiratis have a technical center. They're moving from a carbon-based oil economy to a digital economy. And that's one of the things that they're using. It's Falcon. And the Koreans are putting together from Hangul, which is Korean language, their ideographic language how do they use AI in Hangul. So there's what we went through. So what I want, let me bring up very quickly, bingo. I am going to go to show this just very, very quickly. I passed this out, I distributed this. The most important thing is this address because it's pretty cryptic. We're going to look at this in just a second. AI test kitchen.withgoogle.com. So this is Google scientists, and this is how they are experimenting. And you know it's going to demand that you sign in, that you authenticate who you are. AI Test Kitchen, and you're going to sign into it. We're going to look at two things very quickly. One is MusicFX from Google, and we're going to look at ImageFX from Google. When we see this is what the screen will kind of look like. you will have to be flexible in your recognition of things because it changes. It's ongoing change. On the left side where it has the word home, you click on that and it's going to show you image FX and or music FX and image FX. And it's going to be you. It's going to show you that it recognizes that it's you. And so tell your grandkids, be careful what you put out because it can come back. Music FX, put in a tune, hit the go button down here. And it will generate you a song.
Jim,
And
we're
then
not on your
after,
screen. We're not on your screen.
what are you seeing now?
You.
Only me?
Yeah.
There? Oh my goodness, I'm sorry.
Jim, I was seeing your screen. Now I'm only seeing you.
Okay, let me go back to desktop 2, share. Are you seeing now Music FX?
Yes.
Okay. So this again, this was distributed, and this is what you will see basically as you go through it. I'm just showing you the user interface, the UI. What do you as a user experience? And I'm going to show this again. I put in the phrase, please create some soft piano jazz like it was played in New York City in the 1950s. So I stuck with the Western orientation, cultural bias, my cultural bias, Western orientation. It rearranged it. We're going to see this. And then it rearranged it in what it is calling tiles. And then it produced the 30 seconds. I believe you can change the length now. And then you can download the music here. So here's what you can download. And let's see if I think I turned it. So I find that captivating myself that it can produce that. What I'm finding this useful for is putting in videos that I make. It's the soundtrack for a video. And I thought about the drum machines. I used to go to the Blue Room at the Holiday Inn and listen to a guitar player. And they had a drum machine that they would have the rhythm of their music played on a machine. Well, and then they began playing their guitar. So this is where this is going to go, in my opinion. So I think that is the last. That's again. We're going to look at AI Test Kitchen with Google.com right now. So that is, you're seeing the login screen now. I'm going to you see all the different IDs that I use with Google. I don't want all of these companies learning everything about me because that's how they make, sign in with Google. I'm going to, let's do that one. So here are the different items: image FX, music FX. I've signed up for video, but they haven't put me in. But remember, here I am, and here are the different tools available to me. So I'm going to click on, okay, notice over here on the left side, I'm going to put in backbeat with soft guitar and brass. Let's see what this produces. And I click it. Notice how it's generating here. Notice how Google reoriented it into chips, I think they're calling it. Chips here. And here it's playing it on the right side. It's like the old.
I have a
I didn't
question.
hear. Yeah.
My question is, is it always 30 seconds, or can you regulate how long you want it to be made?
They are developing down here. Let's look at settings. I can go to 70 seconds now is what it looks like. 70 seconds is, and once I make a tune and I'm satisfied with it, I'm not satisfied with this because I didn't hear the brass and I didn't hear a guitar. I did hear the backbeat, but also I wanted, as well as changing the length, let's change it to 50. I don't want to take, I can also download here it is. You can see right up here where it downloaded it to an MP3, which is the standard open source motion picture producer, right? MP, motion picture standard version 3. But so I can go back here and change these chiclets, I guess. I forgot what they call these. And let's change it to a upbeat rhythm with electric bass and synth. So anybody that has familiarity with music, I have no familiarity with playing music. So the time signature, any of the ways that you talk about music could be put into this. So we put it to 50 seconds. Let's see what we generate. Again, this is AI test kitchen with google.com. Maybe the rhythm part is not very good there, but notice It did go to 50 seconds. And again, this is free. This is free. I want to emphasize that. So this is MusicFX, which is at the AI Test Kitchen. Let's go to ImageFX. Notice this is the information. Let's see if I can close this down. No, there, that's. Oh, don't play it. There we go. This is where I put in my text that I want it to generate. Here it's going to generate 4 examples of my image. And this is the way that it's going to generate it. So I can best quality, but these are the different shapes. Landscape. I tend to like landscape, so let's put that in. That's the shape of a phone. But what shall we generate? Let's put in a please generate an impasto image, picture, painting of a small village in the Carpathian Mountains with animals. And on a sunny day, on a sunny morning, with some soft clouds. Let's see what we get. See, this is the way that it's indicating that it's generating. Notice that it went into the clips or whatever they're calling these drop-down boxes. And so it didn't do a very good job of impasto. Notice the different images. As I put my cursor over an image, in the upper left here, I could copy it, I could download it, or what's that? I could share a link, I could do the back propagation information. Yeah, this is good, or no, this is bad. And it gives me let's just change the orientation. Let's make it portrait. And let's make it, let's change it to a watercolor painting of the Alps on a snowy night with dark clouds. So it just by click, and then again, notice how the orientation of the picture has changed. It reorients the chiclets, I'll call them, that are drop downs, and it's generating a way. Oh, this could be let me download. Let's see if I can. Oh, just copy it. And I could now go to my slides in PowerPoint and embed this in the PowerPoint. I could make my Christmas card with this. Or let's change it to chiaroscuro and do another version of this just by putting in chiaroscuro. What does that change? So imagine if you were in an art class at the high school or in middle school, and you wanted to teach kids about art, the different forms of art. Imagine this, the chiaroscuro being the white, the sunlight coming through, I believe, and chiaroscuro, see how the clouds there have the moonlight shining through them. That, I believe, is the chiaroscuro effects. On a full moon, notice how the moonlight is shining on that part of the Alpine mountain. So that is AI Test Kitchen, where we dealt with creating music, creating images. Any questions about that before I go to Poe? We're going to go to Poe and show you all, there's a multitude of AI models that are available now. It's getting beyond my comprehension as to how this will be useful. But Maureen, could you look at the chat to see if there's any chat items there, questions that I could answer before I switch? Again, we emphasized a bunch of things here. Music.
The music AI, the name of the music AI again.
It is MusicFX is the name of it. It's in you got to go to AI Test Kitchen with Google.com, and it will require you to log in. Here's my login ID. This is me, one of my faux IDs. And then you have the choice to go between all these. Go home, where these are what's available. Just click on MusicFX, and there you go. You can go down here to the user interface, or the what you experience is all of this information. You can download, you can change the settings, and you can listen to the different tracks that you've created. And then if you wanted to go and create a image FX, you just switch right over. This is all from Google. Google has these large data centers where the computations necessary to produce these is done in Google's computer farms, their data farms. Poe.com. I'm changing now, unless there was another question, Maureen.
No other questions.
Okay, this is Poe.com. To save us time, I have logged in already. And again, the authentication, they want to be able to chase back to you. But what I want to make you aware of with Poe is all of the different models that are available to you. You can use the Google Gemini 1.5. Remember the article that I sent out Sunday night, I think it was, talked about how Meta, Facebook, Instagram, is turning over this product, Llama, to the Defense Department and the defense contractors, the Booz Allens, the Palantirs. They are turning this over so that they can fine tune it to defense, i.e., military purposes. Here, this is all of my bots. Here, these are Poe's bots. This is, what's his name? Elon. He's using the Twitter, all of the data in Twitter to make an AI. Claude, Gemini. This is the one I'm liking to make to ask medical questions. I asked it a number of questions about immunoglobulin G, kappa version, and neuropathy. And it was relatively easy to trick into it thinking I was a medical student studying this rather than a patient studying this. Because if it assumes I'm a patient, it's going to say, go see your doctor. So let's look at some of the other bots. I believe this is the Taiwanese. Notice it has the simple form Chinese. So if you were in Taiwan, I'm assuming, no, if it's Alibaba, that means it's the mainland Chinese, the People's Republic. Alibaba is the computer company, the Google of China. And so it's developing one. If you wanted to translate, let's see, translate, please, into Chinese, the song Chelsea at Chelsea Morning. Let's see if it'll do it. Oh, no, not going to do it. You get a lot of this from pop. But here's what I've been talking about. 3D rendering. That's a lot of what the bots are now. Google at Palm is what I use for medical. Stable diffusion is image generation. Flux is image generation. Llama is programming. Code Llama is computer programming. Mistral is French. Please, let's see if I can do it. Please translate Chelsea Morning into French. Oh, it's just the title. And des fleurs dans le chevaux. Oh. Let's see if it puts the rest of the lyrics. No, it's not going to do it. No, not gonna, here's medical, here's one of the items when I asked it about diclofenac topical gel, which is a medication. So this is all of the bots. This is all of the AIs that are available. It keeps going. It just keeps going and going and going. And some of them that's going to try to charge you for. Let's see if I can find Solar, which is again, this is the Chinese. Solar. Translate into Hangul. Can you translate into Hangul? Oh, I guess it can't. But and I spelled it wrong. But I wish I had some Hangul that I could put in and ask it in to translate it. But this, again, this is where all of the open source models are. LLM, large language model. These are where it's all available here. Any questions? Any questions? This is poll.com. And I think we're going to go to a break here for a few minutes before we start on the Microsoft version, CoPilot. They've had 3 or 4 names: Bing, Bard, now it's CoPilot. Very similar. You're going to see the different versions that Microsoft has put this through. And I will be available for any questions as we go along here. So let's see. Please start. Please set a 5-minute timer.
5 minutes counts down.
Okay. Let's take a 5-minute break. And let's see if I can play a little rotating tune here. Okay, so that's done. Done. Oh, done. See what we're gonna get here.
You know that well. Late night comedian allegedly funny. Yes, and this is his, as they say, his monologue. That's right. That's his phrase. Yes. So
I passed this out.
part of it,
This is not, I'm not going to cover this. But one of the things that I wanted to make people aware of is that if you have purchased
thousands of hardworking immigrants who make this country go.
Microsoft Office,
How is that now? So children.
you probably have a Microsoft ID,
Successful in what he wants to do.
and that you will be shocked
Healthy bread.
what's available.
I think that's
Now, Maureen and I
great boys.
pay $100 a year.
Because if they won't be able to do irreversible damage to children. Oh no, that's hard on children.
Maureen, I'm not sure if you can
Well, we just
find out where that sounds like somebody's listening to radio.
9 months. Think that yes, obviously.
But this covers two things.
He's praying now. Can we stop that for a moment?
One is
Kimmel starts praying, and I'm thinking,
Microsoft authentication,
go back and find
Microsoft ID,
I mean, what-
and how to install
Democratic election,
Microsoft Edge
the election,
browser.
all be very peaceful and
And
everything.
I'm going to focus a little bit on the Microsoft Edge
By the way, it allows
browser here.
guardians-
I tend to use
guardians who needed
Google Chrome,
These are the same journalists we're expecting to go to Vietnam, to Iraq.
but this is a $1 billion
like a horrendous tragedy when
competition.
flooding, people drowning, and they might see people dying of leprosy. These are the same people. He literally is crying here.
Yes, yes.
For science.
For science.
For science.
Starting to drink with two hands with a neuropathy. Oh, there we go. I don't know if you can hear my watch telling me the time's up. Done. Let's go very quickly. Again, keep in mind, if you were a young person and went into an office, into the cubicle farm where I used to work, and you went up to your computer, you would sign into your computer, and the chances are you are using a Microsoft-based authentication product. Their Active Directory is what it's called. So Microsoft, that's where they're making their money, is in these offices proliferating down in Silicon Valley, certainly in the Washington, D.C. area, L.A., all of these different products. We're going to look at desktop 2, share sound. So one of the objectives of Microsoft is all of these companies is to make you familiar with the icons that they use. Now, this happens to be the Edge, the browser icon. This is one that we're going to be focusing on. This is CoPilot. This is Microsoft AI. This is what Microsoft is trying to get everybody to identify as their Office or Microsoft 365. And this is Bing. This competes directly with Google search. There's the product Bing that is available, not used very widely, but this happens to be the Google Edge browser, this is what it looks like. I cleaned it up because Microsoft throws a boatload of advertising and pictures, and it's distracting to me. So I turned all that off. But notice a bunch of items on this screen. Up here, there's CoPilot. It used to be called, I forgot what it used to be called, Chat. And it's just simply they rebranded it. It's in the same location. You can speak to text. You can put in a picture and have it recognize the picture. And then here's another version of CoPilot that you can run. Here's even a third version of CoPilot that you can run. But this is something that is installed on the right edge of the browser that is all of the Microsoft products. Microsoft Outlook, Microsoft 365, and the Zoom competitor, Microsoft Skype, is there. So what I really want you to pay attention to is this up here. You'll see this throughout on the Microsoft. So I go to the screen Microsoft, or to the website Microsoft 365, and I'm logging in with an ID that does not pay Microsoft. It is the free version, and I log in. You have to authenticate. You have to sign in once you get to Microsoft 365. So these two symbols become active. Now, once I log in with a Microsoft ID, now you remember Hotmail was way back, in the way back, ancient computer history, 10 years ago. Hotmail, live.com, and now they use outlook.com. Yes. J. Gerard at outlook.com is what I use mostly. Notice here is the Microsoft 365 logo, and then all of the free versions of Microsoft products. Free. It runs within the Edge browser. Then I click this icon here, and it opens up a little window. So now I've got two things. I've got Office 365 on the left and CoPilot on the right. And here I've asked a question, and that I can copy and paste from this side into a Word document or a PowerPoint slide if I wanted to, and we'll try that in just a second. And then in the handout that I distributed, you'll see how Microsoft product used to look. This is Chat. It used to be. Now it's CoPilot. Other than that, let's click that. And here's me with, I'm going to try to open it full window. Let's sign in. I'll put in my password. And I'm going to say, do I want to stay signed in? No, because I have a bunch. So notice, now all of the Microsoft products are on the left. This is live. So if I wanted to go look at my email in Outlook, if I had this james.paul.gerard@outlook.com, I click that, and it asks me to authenticate again. Oh, it sends send code. No, I'm not going to do that. But I can look at Outlook and authenticate again. I can go to Word. So it loads Microsoft Word right in the browser. So here's Microsoft Word. Now is the time.
Well, that was fun. I don't know, is Jim here? I don't see him. I think he's probably trying to get things. There he is. Okay, so let me.
Oh, well, I guess we got a few people back. I apologize. Did that go downstairs, Maureen?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. The whole thing blew.
Oh, well, okay. Let's try to pick up and see what we get. I'm gonna try to launch. There, let's go share. I had to restart there. Desktop to share.
You had to restart the network, right?
I think it did. It might have preserved. I was a little afraid that it damaged my computer. But so I'm going to go to Microsoft. Again, I'm in the Microsoft browser, Edge, and I'm going to sign in as James Paul Gerard. And I'll put my password. And again, this is, no, I don't want to stay signed in. Again, this was the word, and I was here. And at the time, I was just showing people that this is the full version of Microsoft Word, almost the full version. So you have, now is the time. But what I wanted to show is that I could have Word, plus I just click this, excuse me, this icon here in the upper right, and it opened the CoPilot. Now I can ask questions. So please explain the electoral electoral process of U.S. to an English person. So oh my goodness. And now let's see. Now it does not allow, I could here, notice I can take this, copy it, go over to the document and paste it. All within the browser item. And please create a, I don't know how to, daguerreotype of an early American convention. Let's see if it, here is, again, it's, I'm emphasizing it does text to text. Then I did a text to image. And let's see if I can copy. I right click on the image, copy image. And let's see if I can go down here to a convention and right click in the document. Oh, no, and paste. And so it will, well, let's see if I can size it. Look how big that baby is. See if I can make it smaller. So think in terms of, let's say, a college kid or a high school kid that can put these items together just by using Microsoft Edge, which is the whole browser, Microsoft Office 365. This is how Microsoft is trying to brand this product now, is Microsoft 365. For years, it's been Microsoft Office. Now it's Microsoft 365. And I can load all of these different products. I could load Microsoft Designer. Let's look at Designer, which is the ability to create slides. Well, I'm going to, let's see if I can do this. No. So I could make images. I could make a band. Let's make a wallpaper or an icon. Let's make an icon. This is again within. Let's make an icon of a 2032 convention badge for a new American political party. So it's going to make, again, this is Microsoft Designer. I'm going to close CoPilot. Oh, there, look at that. So if you're wondering how these guys came up with these are banners. Let's download it, edit it. Let's download, copy image. Let's now go back and go back. Microsoft, let's go into PowerPoint, create a blank presentation. And I'm going to click these off. If I can, take that off. And that off. And then paste. And there's my image that I just created. I'm going to sell this to whom? Who's going to be the new political party in 2 election cycles? So I can make my banner now doing everything that I normally would in Microsoft PowerPoint. And then I can save this or share it, print it, export it. All these things I can do within PowerPoint. Now, again, this is the free version, so it's a little cryptic, but look at all of the different recommendations that it wants. So, design ideas. Let's see if I can have a picture of a city. Let's copy the city over here and put the city in here. Let's put this is New York City. And I'm going to see if I can put this in the back. I'm not even sure how to do that. I should have. Oh, let's put it in a circle. Oh my goodness. Now I'm going to sell that. I'm going to go to the Republicans, I guess. No, they got the money. And I'm going to sell them for this party, and I can put, let's see if I can, who knows what I can do at this point. So again, what I've done very quickly, thank you for sticking with us, because we blew up over on this side in the railroad district. And we did a whole lot today. Let's see if I can bring me back. We did a whole lot today. We did, let's see if I can change this a little bit. Boom. All that stuff is. We reviewed all the materials from 5 weeks. We looked at the Google products at AI Test Kitchen with Google.com. AI Test Kitchen with Google.com. And we looked at MusicFX and ImageFX. Now, if you've been in the image production, you know the letters FX are short for effects. Image effects, music effects. Then we looked at the website po.com that has all of the open source models. I'm sorry about this. Hey, Google, turn off the sync lights. We looked at po.com, and in Po, we looked at Google's Palm model, which is being used in medicine. So the University of California, this is an example, is the University of California Medical Schools, which have the same data system-wide, could fine-tune Palm with all of their information to make a medical AI that the University of California could use. And there is one that's called MedPalm, MED-Palm. We looked at the Qwen, QWEN, which is by Alibaba, a Chinese firm. We looked at Solar, which is a Korean firm. Mistral, which is a French firm. You can download these models to a computer in your home and fine-tune it. Then we looked at the Microsoft browser, Microsoft Edge. It's available on Macs, it's available on Windows, and within that browser, you can go to Microsoft365.com and in effect get a whole version of Microsoft Office. Now it's a little scrambled. What used to be called in my office a brain dead version of the software. It's the free version. Now, Maureen and I, as I said, pay for Office, $100 a year, and we can go into Microsoft 365 and get the full version. That is what I use to transcribe all of our meetings. I've also been experimenting with transcribing the conferences, the council meetings, the city council meetings in Ashland. See if I can summarize their meetings. Now, they probably are not going to like me doing that, but thank you very much for your time. 7.5 hours we put in this. I hope you have enough information to pursue future pursuit in artificial intelligence. And I'll take any question now, either in chat or okay, just a review of using Microsoft Office is what I'm assuming the question was. How do I use Microsoft Office without paying? So what you do, I'll see if I can bring this up quickly. I want to open desktop 2. I'm sharing. So you go to, you install the version Microsoft Edge. So let me log out. I'm going to log out of this. Sign out. So when you first start, I'm going to quit. And now I'm going to start Edge again. This is what you get when you start Microsoft Edge. Now, I have not tested this. I bet you could do it with Google Chrome as well. But this is what Microsoft Edge looks like when you start it up. What it basically has is the CoPilot up here. But you go to Microsoft 365.com. Then this is what it looks like when you get there. This is a Microsoft website. I'm going to sign in using either this one or this one. I'm going to try this one. What do we get? James P. Gerard. This is a different, I call them throwaway IDs. Nope, it wants a verification. Let's see if I can do it. Designated agent 64. Oh, it looks 256. I'm sorry to have this. Use my password instead. I'm sorry. Oh, let's try. No, we got a problem. So let's even try a different one. No, thank you. No. Let's go back to this. Go to Microsoft 365. Sign in. Change ID. I'm sorry, that's not going to work. It's going to take me 5 minutes to do it, but it's here. Use password instead. Let's try this. It might not let me. Stay signed in, no. So I'm sorry for that confusion, but here's what it looks like. It brings up this left side here that has the different versions of the software. It wants you to buy Office, $100 a year, 65 to 100. And then I can go to Word. Here's Word. Notice how it opened a different tab here. Or I could go to Excel and opened a new, here's Microsoft Excel. Or you could go to PowerPoint. Here's a blank version of PowerPoint. And I tried to go to Outlook. I could go to my OneDrive, which is the cloud drive. No, I don't want more. It will sell. So these are the different files that I have stored in the cloud. OneDrive is the version that Microsoft calls their cloud drive. So this is what the free Microsoft Office version looks like within the browser. Let's stop the share. Any other questions that people might have? Another. Okay, you mentioned that you'll be giving a next semester, yeah. The difference it's going to be called practical application, practical AI application. So it's going to focus more on what you can do to create things. What if you were in an office, if you were a PR person, an advertising executive, what would you do? So creating PowerPoint slides with AI. Just what are the different applications of AI that office people will be using? That's what it's going to be focusing more on using AI rather than this class has been just being aware of what AI can do. Now the next class will be using AI. Any other questions? I think that's, thank you, Leroy. Good. Ciao, bello. We'll talk to you all next time around.